Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. I am joined by, a wide range of special guests here today. We got DeeJay, we got Danny, we got Sam, and we got
Elpy. Come on, man.
It's like Elpy. I know. I'm sorry, mate. I keep doing this as well. Elpy, DeeJay, Sam, Danny. How are you all doing?
Good.
Very well.
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate.
Great, super. Thanks, Matt.
Brilliant.
I'm a lot happier than I was a few weeks ago. Anyway, I've got over it. I've got over it now. So it's
You've
fine.
got over.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lot happier.
You're not crying.
No, I wasn't crying anyway. But now that season's getting close, I'm kind of looking forward to it now. So I just can't wait to get going. Obviously, just got to wait to see when the fans can get in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. So.
Agreed. And we're literally going to talk about the finals coming up, the Europa League on Friday and Sunday, Champions League final. We've got Sevilla versus Inter Milan, and we've got Bayern Munich versus PSG. Guys, what did you make of the semi-finals, and what do you think of these four clubs now going into the finals? Let's talk about Europa League first, of course. Sevilla versus Inter Milan. DeeJay, you wanted to talk a little bit about Inter Milan. You had something on your chest you wanted to get off. Let's hear it, mate. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So for me, I was only saying it to you that I think Inter Milan look ridiculously strong this season. I thought Conte has done an absolutely fantastic job with the team there, and I know he's brought in. Everybody's kind of calling them the housing for United rejects at this stage. But you look at what he's done for those lads. Like Lukaku looks like he's been a breath of fresh air for Inter Milan. Ashley Young looks like he's found his form again, and even Alexis Sanchez is starting to show glimpses of what he could do. So I said this from, I'd say, around the quarterfinal stage that I thought Inter Milan were going to win it. I thought it was going to be a difficult contest between Manchester United and Inter Milan. How wrong I was there. And just to come to Sevilla, as we had this discussion the other night on the channel as well about Manchester United versus Sevilla, and I was so surprised. But I'll let Elpy come in on that one, because obviously being a Manchester United fan, I'll let him jump in on the Sevilla team and Manchester United as well.
LP, you're smiling, and I think that's why DeeJay wanted to go straight to you. Come on, mate. Tell us what you're thinking about this right now. Come on, man.
Before the game, I wasn't like every other United fan and saying, we're going to go out and win, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I was very, very nervous before the game. The reason I was very nervous is because I know how good of a side that Sevilla team are. I know how experienced they are in this competition. And before the game, I said 2-1. I just didn't know who the 2-1 was going to go to. Realistically, the chances United created, they should have put them away, but he didn't. Sevilla defended very, very well, and they took their chances, mainly down to really bad defending. But again, you can't expect to miss as many chances as you did and still win a game, especially against a team of the quality of Sevilla. But yeah, I think that Sevilla team are going to be a very, very tough opponent for Inter Milan. I can see Inter being a little bit too strong for them, just plain simply out of consistency. But it's going to be a very, very close match from what I can see.
Do you think that, Sevilla, they have a very good history in the Europa League, don't they? They seem to always win their finals when they get in it. They knocked Liverpool out. Sam, sorry to say, mate, they did, didn't they? Remember that time?
They beat us in the final.
How did you feel about that, Sam? As a team and as a club, the fact that they, we're looking at the fact that Emery was the manager at the time, wasn't he, as well? I mean, what do you make of Sevilla's chances?
I wasn't surprised. I rate their chances really well. Everyone's going on about United struggling, not going to be struggling against Seville, and I was baffled, because you just got to look at the Seville team, and they've done it numerous occasions. I believe their key player is Ever Banega in the middle of the park. He runs that team from top to bottom. He's a class player, and he picks up every loose ball. And they got that Lucas Campos as well. He looks a very good player. But I see it being too strong. They've got the United rejects, as they call them. But in actual fact, it probably goes to show what it says about United, if anything, that they've got rid of these players, but now they're doing well. But that's a different question. But Yeah, Inter will be too strong for Seville, I believe. I think Inter's too strong. I don't think that the defence will be able to handle Lukaku's power. I don't think they'll be able to handle Lautaro Martinez. I think they'll be too strong.
The move from Lukaku to Inter Milan was pretty much a success for him. Do you think?
Saved his career. Saved his career.
One thing. Can I just jump in? One thing I would say on Lukaku is he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's a fantastic striker.
He is.
Like,
absolutely.
At Man United, I was speaking to a lot of Man United fans. They're saying, it scored big games, but when he as a striker, all you need him to score. I don't care about anything else. Just put the ball in net, and he puts the ball in net season after season after season. I think since he joined Everton, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure he's got 20 plus goals more or less every season since he's been at Everton. I may be wrong on that, but
even Man United,
even Man United when he wasn't at his best, he was still bagging 20, 25 goals. I mean, as a striker, you can't really ask for more than that, can you?
That's the same as Anthony Martial has right now. Just to put that point out there, and people are calling Anthony Martial world class. That he's had one of his best seasons. Yet Lukaku was doing it 2 seasons in a row for Manchester United. Ibrahimovic done it for 1 season. People were saying, they're not that great. You'd expect more from them. Yet Martial does it, and everybody's bending over and kissing his feet. I don't agree with it.
I think it was their scapegoat.
Exactly.
I really do.
Elpy, do you think it was a mistake letting Lukaku go?
No.
You don't?
The reason I don't is because Lukaku was an excellent striker. He did not suit United.
Doesn't suit the system. Suit the system.
There's no point in keeping a world-class striker there who's not going to perform to his potential just to say you've a world-class striker there. If he's
I don't think he would be there anymore as well.
Exactly. I'm not going to say he wasn't good enough to be there because he was absolutely good enough to be there. He just didn't suit the system. He found a system that suits him with Inter Milan, and that's the thing about it. Alexis Sanchez, exact same. Fantastic player, just did not suit United.
Play the game around those players. That's what those players are built for. You need to build a team around 1 or 2 of them, like especially Lukaku. And you look what Conte has done. He's actually built that squad around Romelu Lukaku to his strengths and play to that kind of style. Whereas United still wanted to play the fast front three. Lukaku didn't suit that style for me.
He can't play.
And he can't play that style. If you want somebody like that, bring in Harry Kane, bring in Jadon Sancho.
No,
these
not
players
Harry Kane. Harry Kane can't handle that either.
Harry Kane would suit that
either.
system. Harry Kane would suit that system.
No,
I think so.
you guys beefing right now. This is a bit of a beef going. I wanted to say about the Lukaku situation, the fact that it was such a high price for him coming from Everton to Man United. Do you think it was a big deal for him being there at a big price? And you know what United fans are like, not talking about me and you, Elpy, but there's nobody else Man United in there, is there? It's only me and you, mate.
Just myself.
But with the Lone Wolves. But do you think it was a big deal, the fact that you're going to a Premier League team as big as Man United, it wouldn't work out? And the fact that he put on a lot of weight at the last season that he played, a lot of people were talking about that he looked like a boxer rather than a football player.
I think a lot of that was down to him not actually wanting to be there anymore. He realised the system
Absolutely.
wasn't enjoying football. That's exactly what it was down to. He wasn't looking at
You're saying that he wasn't enjoying the football, but it says the kind of player he is, but he's not enjoying it, but he's still scoring goals. That says the kind of player he is.
Oh, no, he's a world-class player, though. Look, I said, I've never once said he wasn't. He just doesn't suit United. He did not suit United.
No.
That game against Paris Saint-Germain, where he scored the 2 goals to get United back.
He was untouchable that game.
He was the best player on the park, hands down. And it just shows when he is on the big stage, he can turn it on. So that for me is the reason why Inter Milan, or one of many reasons, as Sam said, Lautaro Martinez and Alexis Sanchez. You've all these kind of players playing for Inter Milan. I think they're going to be too strong. I think Diego Carlos is going to struggle against Romelu Lukaku. And I think you might see a red card there. Even though I just want to point out that maybe a red card was warranted in the game against United. We won't go into that too much further, but I see him struggling. I think there might be he might be in trouble in this game.
Yeah, dramatic. You've seen that video clip on YouTube with the referee doing like a ballerina.
Yeah.
maybe.
That one-
No, but like on the topic of Diego Carlos, though, I think he is a very, very good centre half. He's very quick. He's generally very good with a tackle, but he's been caught out twice now by just. Also, actually, on that point, I do not think that was a penalty at all for United. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm
As
glad
you
you said
I
that.
do not think it was a penalty whatsoever.
I'm glad
the
you
reason
said that.
being is because
Well,
that
yeah,
happens
I
five times
could
every game.
think about 15 of them this season. It's not been a penalty for United. It's been given. Funny that.
Bruno
Like,
Fernandes.
No, like I'm going to be honest. The vast majority of penalties United got this season were absolutely merited. I can say 3, maybe 4 shouldn't have been given, but the rest of them absolutely penalties.
But it was like
And
that with, Harry Kane, wasn't it, in the World Cup? You know, look at the progress that England got in the World Cup. It went to the semi-finals. Most of the goals that we scored were penalties. But you've got to be able to take these sorts of chances. You look at Bruno Fernandes as well in the Europa League semi-final, the way he hopped, skipped and jumped before he... Beautiful way of doing a penalty. I thought it was artistic, but...
I don't like it.
Take them, wouldn't you?
I get
They all
nervous.
count. They all
I get
count.
nervous. There's no matter really. Though.
It's like on penalties. My boy, obviously, Troy at Watford. Yeah, he's been known as a penalty merchant at Watford. But at the end of the day, he takes the penalties and he buries them. You know, look at the penalty. Look at it. The penalty against Wolves. How important that was. You know, the equaliser, 94th minute. He scored a penalty against Man United. I think this season he scored a penalty against Aston Villa. Like all important. You know, and there's been other times in past few seasons where he scored like winners for penalties. It
No
doesn't
one's
matter.
about penalties in
It literally doesn't matter how you score penalties off your ass, off your dick. It literally doesn't matter. As long as the ball is in the net. And
Did you see the goal that Lukaku got this year though? He knew nothing about it. The ball literally bounced back off his head and over the keeper.
Yeah.
Same with Sterling.
As a striker, you take them all day long, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it does.
Yeah.
Exactly. You look at Chicharito for Man United, you know, like...
Remember his first goal? Yeah, his first goal.
I knew you were going to mention that. I knew you were going to mention that.
First goal for Man United. He didn't even mean to do it.
That had to be goal of the season. I don't care what anyone says. That was goal of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's
What
a
strike,
goal poacher. Like, you put him in...
Oh, absolutely.
He kicks the ball onto his head and it's gone in. Like that takes
What a
skill.
self-assist.
Yeah, so it takes skill, that does.
He nearly sparked himself.
He must have got an assist for that because that was amazing. And like I said, he could have been stone dead and he still would score goals. You know?
Yeah.
It's
But coming back to that penalty, like Elpy, you were saying the way he runs up and does it. I understand why he does it, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. Where it makes you nervous.
It
Like,
makes me very nervous. But no,
because
I completely-
Pogba does the same. Pogba does this little weird, like little shuffle, and then he goes up and strikes it, and
takes about 18 steps before he kicks the ball. Like
and then you look at somebody as Danny was saying, like Troy Deeney, who just steps up and
Runs up,
dispatches a
boom.
penalty, and it's like it's
Smashes it.
9 out of 10 times it's world class.
All the time when he takes a penalty, he doesn't go for placement. He just goes for pure power. And if you get pure power, it's very hard for a keeper to save it when you got that much power on his shot.
Keep it low and drive it. Keep it low and drive it. Yeah.
But the thing about Dean, when Troy takes his penalty, he hits him with power, but he flies him into the top corner. So no keeper's saving him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So basically, anybody else? I was looking at Martinez for Inter Milan as well. Exceptional player.
incredible.
Why hasn't anybody looked up these sorts of players? Inter Milan are pushing for more players as well. They look like they're going to try and compete next year. They tried this year, but they were a little bit short.
1 point short or something. In the eventuality, he finished like 1 point or something behind him, didn't he? I know the league was over 2 or 3 weeks before that, but like they're close enough. Like,
I agree on that one. Like Juventus actually started to slip up towards the end.
the league was won when they did though.
Yeah, but that just shows you how vulnerable they are coming into next season. Big time vulnerable. And Ronaldo, 35 this year. You've a lot of old players there, Bonucci, Chiellini. These guys are still, they're coming towards the twilight of their career. Obviously, that's Juventus' style, and that's what they play, is to bring in these older guys. But it could be a struggle for the next season against a team like that, Inter Milan, or even... I was watching AC Milan. Obviously, I'm a huge Ibrahimovic fan. I was watching AC Milan towards the end of the season. Your man Kessie in the midfield, Ante Rebic. These kind of players were unbelievable towards the end of the season. I think AC were scoring 4 and 5 goals nearly every game. So yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle for Juve next season again.
Yeah, I think Juve only kind of seem like a similar position to Barcelona. Like they've had their, I mean, Barcelona more so. They've had, like, we'll talk about obviously later what happened to Barcelona, but Juventus is a team they're aging. You know, they've passed their peak. They probably need to start again. Same with obviously Barcelona. They've passed the magic period. They just teams are out to start again. But yeah, I think Inter Milan. How good was the Inter Milan team for years ago? You know, when they won the Champions League in Mourinho. I think lots of Samuel Eto'o, so they had some, you know, Zanetti, Cambiasso, really good players. And it's now they had that bad patch. Same similar with AC Milan, I guess, as well.
Niger.
Yes, what a player.
Even
similar
similar with Manchester United.
Linked with Man United literally every single year. It was linked with Man United, never happened. But yeah, he was a phenomenal player. Obviously, they had some really good players. I think now they're probably going to get back to their best, hopefully. But yeah, I agree with you, DeeJay. Juventus, maybe it's time to step aside now. Let Inter Milan take over Serie A for a bit.
Can I
Milan
ask,
could come up as well.
what do you think the score will be? Do you think Sevilla have a chance of doing something here? I mean, we look at RB Leipzig and Atalanta in the Champions League and how far they got. Can Sevilla do something about this?
Oh, absolutely. They can. Absolutely. It's not a foregone conclusion that Inter Milan are going to win the game. Sevilla there for a reason. You're not there on luck, are they? So they do offer so attack. You know, like I was saying earlier, we've got Eva Benega in the middle of the pitch, who in the last couple of games in the Europa League has just run the show. And he set the goal to beat Wolves, and he was pivotal in the win against United. You know, they've also got that Lucas Ocampos. I can't pronounce his name.
Ocampos, yeah.
He looks a great player. He looks a really good player.
And then that Liverpool rejects too. So looks decent for them.
I just want to mention a player that no one's actually mentioned either. Reguilon looks a serious player.
Very good left back. Very good.
Looks a very, very good player with him.
And a 34-year-old Jesus Navas playing right full actually looks beast. Bit of pace.
And he didn't struggle. He didn't struggle against United either. He
did not struggle once against Marcus Rashford, who's supposed to be super quick, one of the best players at Manchester United, possibly in the Premier League. And I just felt that, you know, it was easy for Navas at times.
It was.
First 10 minutes, it wasn't. First 10, 15 minutes, Rashford had him ran riot. And after that, Rashford was non-existent.
I think Rashford has dropped form seriously since after his injury.
I'll say this now. I like Marcus Rashford, but I do think everybody hypes him up too much. I do think he's a little bit over.
Same thing what I said earlier on about Maguire is because he's English.
If you were to sign Jadon Sancho, you look at them players. I thought Rashford will be the one that may be at risk of losing his place if Sancho does come in. If it does happen,
but it'll be Greenwood. That's the problem. It will be Greenwood.
Greenwood's class. Greenwood's class.
I agree, but it will be Greenwood.
I'm going to hype up Greenwood. I think Greenwood's amazing. I think
he's fantastic.
The way he finishes his goals, and you look at
both feet,
a quick touch, and then shoot.
Yeah, like both feet as well. Both feet.
Let it slide out and then hit it. He just straight away. It's a Van Persie sort of style of shot.
Yeah. There's a big thing for me. You don't want to do what happened to Paul Gascoigne, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes, all of these types of
similar
players.
With Ross Barkley as well. Remember Ross Barkley was meant to be this next Paul Gascoigne, but I think it is.
And it's
the thing with the English press. They wire me up so much. They get this player, they hype him up, and then he gets to the head, and then they fade away. It really winds me up. Just let him grow into football. That's why they've got to let Greenwood. Hype Greenwood. Yeah, Greenwood's obviously done really well, but just let him in. He's still young. He's not even 20 yet, I don't think. Just let him in. Yeah, he's done really well.
Next season's a big season for him.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, we'll see if he's
consistent.
consistent.
It next season?
Yeah.
Guys, have we got Man United and not in this competition? We've just gone straight on to Man United. So let me just ask your opinions first, starting with Elpy. What do you think your predictions of the score of the Europa League final between Sevilla and Inter Milan? What is yours, Elpy, starting off with you?
2-2. I can see it going to extra time.
2-2 extra time. How about
who wins? Who wins?
Inter Milan, I think, win it in extra time.
Who?
Inter Milan.
Oh, there we go. Danny, what about you?
I think Seville obviously a good side, but I do think Inter Milan will have just too much for them. I'll go with probably about 2-1. I reckon Lukaku will back both. I reckon.
Cool. What about you, DeeJay?
3-1 Inter Milan.
You sod.
Sam,
You were going to say that as well, weren't you?
Sam's not agreeing with
We
that.
can go with the same score.
How much, mate? What's the score?
3-0 Inter Milan.
3-0 Inter Milan from Sam. Okay, cool. That's cool. We got.
What about you then, Matt?
Oh, Jesus. I think I'm going to go with Elpy. I think it's going to go into extra time. I think it's going to be a close game. And listening to Sam and DeeJay and what you were talking about, the fact that Sevilla have really got a good team. And we've all seen that anyway, haven't we? And the fact that they've won lots of finals, they know how to do it. As a club, it's not just about managers. Like, we're not looking at Emery right now. We're looking at... I think it's extra time. Penalties for me, mate. And I think Inter Milan on penalties. There you go.
Interesting.
Good show.
Very interesting.
Nice.
Let's talk about the Champions League now. Everybody's more interested in this. We've saved it to last. Save the best till last is what they say, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go quite controversially and go for a PSG win.
PSG.
Yeah. Not Bellier will give them a prey, but I think the way Belgium play, we were discussing it earlier, they play such a high line. I don't think they'll play as high because of Mbappe and Neymar. But if they give away chances they've done to Barca and Leipzig, I think Neymar and Mbappe will take chances. And I do see him. I fancy him. I really do.
At the start of the season, I fancied PSG at the start of the season. My two favourites was PSG and Man City, and obviously now Man City are not in it, and I've got to stick with PSG. I really fancy them at the start of the season.
I like Tuchel as a manager. I really do rate him as a manager. He gets every tactic right. He gets every substitution right, and it's been proven.
What do you think he's sitting on? A case of beer when he's watching his games?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, mate. A case of French wine, I expect.
Your bottles of whiskey in there on ice.
Oh, I know you said that, LP. Whiskey, yeah, he's definitely on the whiskey, mate. What do you think, LP, though, mate, at the Champions League final between PSG and Bayern Munich? You're looking at Bayern Munich recently as well. Amazing squad. Gnabry, West Brom, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, scoring hat-tricks like it's no man's land, isn't it? I can't believe how good this player is. Can we talk a little bit about Gnabry?
Yeah.
Matt, can I just jump in quickly? There's one player.
And you're going to cut him out.
Sorry.
Walk away.
There's one player on the PSG team that Man United should not have got rid of.
Ander Herrera.
Should not have got rid
You
of
were
him.
only talking about him before you got in.
Yeah.
Can I talk about what we talked about this thing before we come on? The fact that he wasn't offered the same amount of money. Man United wanted to keep him, but they wanted to keep him on the same or maybe a little bit more. But PSG offered him, I think, double the wages, and he was just
Wouldn't be far off it anyway. Yeah.
No.
But not be funny, but Ander Herrera is actually he's so underrated, and if he's that good, it's similar to Arsenal with Aubameyang. You've got to pay the money that they deserve, and Man United should not. They should have just paid him what he wanted because I think they're missing him. He's the one player they're probably missing, to be honest.
And Ander Herrera is that kind of player that goes under the radar but does an absolute stellar job.
Very similar to Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick did not get the credit he deserved at Man United.
But what I feel about Michael Carrick, though, is the last 2 or 3 years of his career, he was head and shoulders above anywhere near before what he was. Before the 3. He improved so much towards the end. I think before them last 3 seasons, he was a bang average midfielder. The last 3, I think he was incredible. He was the focal point of United.
I can't even remember how many England caps he got, but he probably didn't get any more than about 40. He should have got so much more. Like I said, though, he only started playing well the last 2-3 years of his career. Like, not even playing well. He only started to improve the last 2-3 years of his career. Like, the last 2-3 years of his career, he was one of the best and the best to do it. But before that, he was a bang average midfielder.
He was.
Hey, I'm gonna jump in here on the Bayern Munich piece, right? You were talking about you were talking about Gnabry. I think Gnabry's fantastic, and there was one thing I think the commentator said it the other night in the Bayern game that their most expensive player on the pitch was 25 million quid, and that was Manuel Neuer. What does that tell you? Like
Then
Lewandowski on a free.
Harry Maguire cost 50 million.
I think that whole team
million.
cost 90 million.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Maguire cost 80.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Even worse.
Sell him for 20, please.
I mean, you look at the way that the German leagues are acting. We all know about the Sancho coming to Man United deal, and the fact and the buying Leverkusen from Kai Havertz, Chelsea. They're asking for big money. That they know that they've got good players over in the Bundesliga at the moment. You look at the American players that are coming out of the Bundesliga as well. They're smashing it, mate. You look
Christian Pulisic, just want to call him.
Right.
What an absolute talent for Chelsea.
Right.
He's going to be a huge
He
player
will be.
this season.
Will be a big
It's
player.
not just that. They know English clubs will pay the money.
I had a Chelsea fan come on, and he's a big fan of Pulisic, and I was sort of asking him, like, so how do you feel about an American going from German league to, and he's like, you don't even understand how many German players are in the German league right now, in the Bundesliga.
There's loads, isn't there? Obviously, you got the lad at Leipzig, Tyler Adams. He's the one that scored the goal. Obviously, you got Davis. Yeah, he's Canadian, but he's basically American. He's probably best fullback in world football. At the moment. Yeah, Tyler Adams. You got there's loads. They said they go under the radar, and it's only a matter of time before they come over to the Prem. To be honest,
like even Owen Hargreaves, all right, Canadian, British national.
Yeah.
Still the same.
He spent most of his career in Bayern Munich, didn't he? And obviously, he'd come over to Man United and obviously Man City. So,
Bayern Munich, yeah. It was
he
hadn't been anywhere else. And you're like, is it English? He's English. Well, Canadian English, but yeah.
English, German. I think it's English, German, and Canadian. He's all of them. When you listen to him speak, he's got a very, very strange accent.
Very weird accent indeed.
Yeah.
But I think personally, right, I was just, as I was saying there, I think there's a premium put on players who are going to the Premier League. For some, obviously it's the most watched league in the world, or one of the most watched leagues in the world. And obviously they get a lot of the Premier League clubs. They obviously know they get a lot of money from telly rights and, all this other merchandise and brand deals, all that kind of good stuff. So these other leagues, like let's say the Bundesliga, which probably isn't watched as much as the Premier League, they're probably looking and going, well, they have the money. They've got telly rights. They've got all these short sales which go around the world. And it's a case of let's slap a 20% premium, or for Jadon Sancho, a player who's worth probably 80 million, in my opinion. Let's slap a 120 million price tag on him. Like it's ridiculous. And it's not just German leagues. It's everywhere that isn't England. Like for me, it's just ridiculous at this stage, and there has to be some sort of rules put into place based on it.
I think there's two factors that are contributing to this Sancho price range. One, he's English. Two, he's gone to Manchester United, or if he had been going, say for example, let's just say he hadn't have blown up as well as he did now, right? And he had been, let's just say French, right? For example, and say West Ham went in for him, he'd be 20 million. Seems United could become interested. 40 million. Yeah, 40 million. Because United have the money.
Man City must be kicking themselves now, really, shouldn't they? They'd be kicking themselves. Letting him go.
No, because if he stayed at City, he might not be the player he is now.
He wouldn't have developed.
Yeah, it's true, but then again, there was always, whenever he played for, Man City youth team when he used to play, he was best around pitch, but yet, and then you compare him to someone like Phil Foden, obviously they've probably come through the youth team together, I'd imagine. Yet Phil Foden's in the first team. Sancho, I don't know what it was for City, but obviously clearly he didn't think he was good, but obviously he's phenomenal now. And they must be thinking, why did we get rid of him? But, again, like you said, he may not have been the player, but he's still a fantastic player. And,
They should have done what all the Spanish clubs do and just put a buyback clause in his contract.
Yeah,
when they were selling them on.
They put a sell-on on it instead, 15% sell-on.
I don't agree with sell-on clauses, because if the player turns out to be fantastic, and sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's not, but if the player does turn out to be fantastic, just buy him back. Take him back to your team, and then you'll win trophies that'll win you money. So you get more money than what a sell-on clause will actually gift you.
Like some of you may not know this, but Sancho started off at Watford.
He did.
Yeah, started off at Watford. And, when he was, started off at us when he was about 14 or 13. Man City, the FFP thingamabob. They nicked him off. I think it was about £1 million or something. They took him off us, and obviously I don't even think we get any sell-ons or anything because he was a kid when they got from us.
You can't put a sell on the youth player.
No, he was only like 14 or something. So we always knew he was going to be a hell of a player, but not nowhere near the player he is now. Like, he's phenomenal now. It's incredible.
Right, so Champions League final predictions. Obviously, we're talking about Bayern Munich versus PSG, or the other way around. Doesn't matter. They're both in the final. Danny, we'll start with you first, mate. What do you think the score's going to be?
Well, like I previously said, I fancy PSG to start, so I'm going to stick with them. Even though Bayern Munich obviously have done exceptionally well to get there, but like we touched upon, they're so open at the back. Then they'll probably get caught out with Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, etc. So I'll go with 3-1 PSG. 3-1. I reckon Neymar, but and then Mbappe will get 2. That's it. They're the danger men. Them two, I think. Yeah, them two. 3-1 PSG.
Cool, man. What do you think, DeeJay? Are you on that, or are you different? What are you thinking?
Man, I think it's going to be a ridiculously high-scoring game. I think you're underselling it. I think it's going to be either a 3-2 or a 4-3 to Bayern Munich.
It could well be.
You're going to see a lot of goals. I think. Yeah, I just think the defense on both teams is not up to the par compared to their strike forces. As we were saying, like you've Thomas Muller, you've Lewandowski, you've Serge Gnabry, you've Perisic, Coutinho, against then obviously Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, and like that kind of strike force against what we would say would be an adequate defense in the league, but against the top players in Europe, I'm predicting I'm going to go with the 4-3. I'm going to stick with 4-3. Bayern Munich, Lewandowski to get 2 and Thomas Muller to get 2. And then Kylian Mbappe and Neymar to score for PSG.
He's going all out, DeeJay. He's going all out. Sam, what about you, mate? What do you think?
0-0. Go for it. 0-0.
No chance that's happening. I think PSG.
Who's going for a 0-0?
I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game. I think it's going to go into extra time. I think it's going to be 0-0 in normal time. No, I'm joking. I'm going to go 2-1 PSG.
Elpy, mate. New guest, mate. I'm loving to hear what you're thinking, man. I love that beard as well, man.
Cheers, mate. It's got to be one of them games that everyone's expecting to be a very, very high-scoring game. I can see it. If it's not going to be a 1-0 somewhere, it's going to be 5 or 6 either side. It's going to be
one of them games. It's either going to be really dull or it's just going to have so much goal.
Exactly what I'm thinking. It's going to be either a 1-0 to Bayern Munich or it's going to be
6-5 or something, or 7-6.
I was thinking 5-2 myself. 5-2 Bayern Munich or else 1-0. I'm going to go 5-2 though, just because it does have the makings of a really, really high scoring game based on what we were talking about earlier on, and DeeJay already touched on it. Both defences are, I'm not going to say bad, but I'm going to.
They're just open, aren't they? They're open.
Yes, very open. Very, very open. And again, with the quality that comes with the likes of PSG, so you have Neymar, you've Mbappe, you've Di Maria, even what's his name? Man, that came from Stoke. What's his?
Choupo-Moting.
That's the one, Choupo-Moting. Yeah. He was excellent when he came on against
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah, he was super.
Yeah.
Hey, LP.
Yes, sir.
You won't ever talk about Di Maria, huh?
Again, same thing as I said before with Lukaku. Fantastic player, did not use to United. I like Di Maria. I always liked Di Maria.
Got his house robbed though, LP. He got his house robbed.
He did, yeah. Poor bloke.
I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to in this final is seeing Mbappe up against Alphonso Davies.
That's going to be a really good
one of the best striker / winger versus one of the best left fullers in the world. That's going to be an absolute filthy battle, and I can't wait to see how that goes.
I'm more so excited for the race between them.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a straight sprint, 100 meters.
It's gonna be like watching the Olympics.
All this said, it's got the potential to be one of the best Champions League finals in history. If what we're saying is all happened, both defences are open, both teams have one of the best attacks. it's got the potential to be one heck of a final, but it's just the only downside is it's being played without fans. Because imagine that them two teams with fans, it would have been superb, wouldn't it? That's the only downside.
11 on 11 without fan support. I think that's great. Not what's happened, but I just think it's a bit different, isn't it? Now, like
atmosphere.
Players haven't got that push. Like Messi really probably wanted Barcelona support. You know, with what happened with Barcelona, I just think it makes a big difference. And I think now you've really got to look at who can actually play football. If you are isolated from fan support, from cheering, from jeering, everything, it can make a huge difference. And we all know that, don't we?
Lads, how do you think? Obviously, the last few rounds have been, where it's just been one game instead of 2 legs. How do you think it's worked?
I prefer it personally. Hands up, I prefer it. I think it's more exciting. Obviously, it obviously doesn't work when it comes to TV because they want the 2 legs and get those views and get that money because the amount of ads and all that kind of generates. And then obviously in 2 different stadiums, the likes of, let's say, Emirates or Etihad or whoever is sponsoring the teams, they obviously have it in their agreement that with the amount of people that go to these games and the amount of people that watch these games, it generates so much revenue for them, advertising-wise. So I don't see it being a thing going forward. But I personally, as a fan, love it. I love it. I think. I
also think the one game. I think it also benefits the so-called underdogs as well because it's just a one-off game. Whereas obviously 2 legs most of the time, the expected team will naturally go through because obviously that's just the way it works. But one game. It's anybody's game, and it's been proven with obviously Leon winning.
Yeah,
and obviously,
but just to touch on that, like don't forget we did have, I think it was a couple of years ago, that Barcelona PSG, 2-stage knockout, and that was one that I found quite exciting. You're going
4-0 and 6-1.
Can Barcelona pull back a 4-0, deficit?
6-1, like wow.
Well, can Liverpool pull a 4-0 deficit? I bloody can.
3-0
against Barcelona, like against
and Spurs
the highest
pull
rate.
back.
Yeah, it was Ajax they were playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, against Ajax.
Inter Milan as well.
Yeah, can I just say that I went to a pub to watch it. I love Ajax. That one of my, you can see behind me.
Never would have guessed.
You never would have guessed. I've always gone there. I've gone to see him a lot of times, same as Man United and Porto, but
and Watford.
Watford as well, because I got free tickets from school, and I really appreciate that, and I'll never let that go for the rest of my life. I will battle anybody that says, "Why do you like Watford and you like Man United?"
Good man.
That's the reason why, and you can never hold me against that. But the fact is, what was going on? What was we going on here?
Lads.
Tottenham had to go away to Ajax. Ajax are a big team in Europe. They have won a lot of European competitions.
Yeah,
we know that. But with the aggregate thing, the away goals that Ajax got, and the fact that Tottenham had to get 3 goals in 45 minutes, and it was all scored by one player.
Lucas,
my favourite player of last season, and people will be like, how can you say that? It's not about statistics or anything like that. It's just about the player did exactly what I would do if I was a player. I'd be quick to the ball. I'd want to get it in. And you look at what he did against Ajax. It was amazing. So that, and like everyone was saying, how can you beat Liverpool's 4-0 and then the next day Tottenham got 3 goals in 45 minutes from one player? I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, I agree. But before we head up, Matt, I want to hear your predictions for the Champions League final. We haven't heard yours yet.
You're asking me. Jesus, DeeJay. You're pulling me out there. Okay. It's a very close game, isn't it? Though, to be fair, off the top,
it's a really close call, isn't it? It's a really close call.
It's such a good final. You don't know how Mbappe and Neymar are going to turn up. You don't know how Lewandowski, Gnabry, and Kimmich.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't even talked about Kimmich. But,
no, not that.
I'm going to say Bayern Munich. I think they probably do deserve it, the way they've played throughout the Champions League. I think maybe a 3-1 win to Bayern Munich. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
thank you very much for joining us today. Do you know what? This has been one of my most favourite vlogs that I've done. And I don't even know
Good man, I really enjoyed it.
Is that because I'm here?
LP, yeah, maybe, mate. I might have to get you.
Because you've got someone that sports a non-European team. You just support a little team that I don't even care about. I just like watching Champions League because I know my team's never going to be.
I hope you're talking about me. I hope you're talking about me.
And me as well. I'm
a League Two. I'm a League Two fan.
I'm a non-league.
You said non-European team. I thought you meant like someone like Buenos Aires or something like that.
Nah, like a team that's never been. Bolton have been in Europe, and I'm sure in your lifetime we haven't.
Yeah, it was 06, 07 and 07, 08.
RB Leipzig, 2011.
Yeah,
Formation
I'm bloody older than Leipzig. Jesus Christ,
We're all older than that, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all older than Leipzig. I think.
I hope we're older than 9 years of age.
That's all down to Red Bull, though, isn't it? That's all down to Red Bull.
Yeah, I've got to shoot that.
Hey, like Leipzig, I was saying this in my transfer update the other day. The fact that the RB Leipzig were bought by Red Bull, a fifth-tier team that weren't going anywhere. They had a really good fan base, and they wanted it. And RB Salzburg as well. You look at them; they love it. Why not?
New York as well.
The one.
New York Red Bulls. Yeah.
By the way, can I just say, if you want to shout out your Twitters, social medias, do so now. Let's go.
We'll let Sam go.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Footballman Sam. And I'd just like to say thanks again, Matt. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you, Sam. LP?
Yeah, find me on Twitter. It's just Lee here. YouTube is travel related if you're interested in that. It's Borders and Beyond. And the same on Instagram.
Thank you, LP. DeeJay?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at the same. It's at DJB. Yeah.
Danny?
Go follow.
So my Instagram is INWFC, the O's 0, and then it's got an underscore at the end. It's I0NWFC _. Then my Facebook, Danny Iron. Add me on them. All good.
Brilliant. And we are Football United TV. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Same name, same thing. You know the rest. Push that red subscribe button if you're breathing oxygen, as Wizzy says. I'm going to take that from him. But everybody, thank you very much for tuning in today, and you guys for helping us out, and we hope to get you back on soon. Take care.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.